How's it going, my gamers? Welcome back to another battle replay. This is from the stream I did on Sunday because I didn't do one on Thursday because I'm not good at stream schedules. But this was a siege of the Dwarves defending Eagle Gate versus the Lizardmen invasion. Bit of a weird matchup there. I'll just quickly go over the army compositions. I'm playing the Dwarves here. I've got 3 units of Longbeards defending the gate, a couple of units of Slayers as well because I knew I was playing against the Lizardmen, so I'd obviously want a couple of those. I've got 3 units of Quarrelers on the walls, 2 units of Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes, again for that anti-large damage, units of Rangers at the back, 2 Grudge Throwers and a Gyro Bomber, which I completely forgot about until a little bit later into the game, and all this has been led by Belgar Ironhammer, because he's a cool defensive lord, you know, don't really get to use him that much, so I decided I would this time. Now I'm going up against a Lizardmen force led by a generic Slan Mage Priest of Life. He's got a nice mix of Saurus Spears and Temple Guard coming at me, as well as a Engine of the Gods, an Ancient Salamander, and a Feral Dread Saurian, as well as a Saurus Scar Veteran. He's electing not to use his towers to attack me here, so we'll see how this turns out. So immediately I try and get these towers under my control by placing my guys there and have them focus on the Temple Guard units. They're shooting at the spears a little bit there. I think I changed the targets in just a moment. Obviously I want to get, you know, the value on these, I want to get the most value I can out of the towers, so I'm going to aim for the most expensive units I can, and at the same time my Grudge Throwers are also firing into these clumps of Temple Guard, because, you know, why wouldn't you? Now, he is actually managing to push this tower up with his Feral Dread Saurian, which I'm not sure is completely intentional, but it's happening anyway. Now, this is a very, very, very difficult place to attack, so I definitely respect the effort here. I just fancied a siege, because I like defensive play like this. And we can see here this Engine of the Gods and the Ancient Salamander now getting into Quarrelers range, but I decided to retarget my Quarrelers to attack the infantry and use my Trollhammer torpedo Iron Drakes to focus on these large units here, and as you can see they're getting absolutely melted by all of that damage. Unfortunately, the Engine of the Gods is getting very close, so he's going to do a cast quite soon, and because my Dwarf Boys are very slow, it's going to take him a minute to get out of this one, so this is going to be very painful indeed. Unfortunately, him not bringing the towers did not work out in his favour whatsoever. Oh, there we go, there it is. I do manage to pull the Slayers out just in time, but they still take quite a little bit of damage there. But yes, he really should have utilised these towers and moved up, because when he gets here, he's going to have to use the ladders to climb up, and it's going to absolutely tire his units out, and he's not going to get a lot of value there. We have already routed his Ancient Salamander from the Iron Drakes. They are just ripping and tearing through all these large targets, sorry. And yes, he certainly could have utilised those towers a lot better to you know, shield his units from this. I'm now pulling my units off of the walls because they have started to dock their ladders, and even though they are exhausted, I still don't want my ranged units having to do this, so I pull all my units back and start to form up my Longbeards to defend against any units coming down from the walls, and move my Slayers in to attack these guys. Belgar himself just around the corner there. I'm finally moving my Gyrocopter in now to do some bombing runs, because I notice they're all nicely clumped up here. So as we get into this, he should start to move and do some fantastic damage to those units. Here he goes. So as you can see here, he's just going and doing a massive bombing run. It's worth noting that the game was running at about, I don't know, like a third speed this entire battle. I don't know what was going on. I think my adversary's internet was pretty poor. Yes, the Gyro Bomber, I don't believe I bombed on this run because I completely forgot, so he just kind of walks in there. But I managed to bog down my enemy's large targets with my Longbeards, my Lord, and both my Slayer units, and I'm also firing at them with the Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes. And that Feral Dread Saurian is getting ripped to pieces along with that Ancient Stegodon Engine of the Gods. Some Saurus Spears are coming off the walls now, but they are tired and going into some fresh Longbeards at 100% full health, and these guys are pretty torn to pieces, so he's not going to get too much value there. Moving in my Gyro Bomber, I think that's for his last bombing run, just to get into this nice clump of enemies there. There it is. So some not too bad damage there. I could have used him a lot better, but he nevertheless got quite a lot of value, doing a lot of damage even if he didn't get a lot of kills. So now I'm just basically holding the line, targeting all my artillery into this clump here, because I know the Longbeards can handle these Temple Guard at this much health, and my range units can certainly assist without too much work. These guys do unfortunately move up because I targeted some units and then made them not on guard mode, so they did just end up walking into danger there, but I think I noticed fairly quickly and pulled them back before they get too ripped to pieces. Belgar basically taking 0 damage fighting this Saurus Scar Veteran, no trouble whatsoever for him. I think the only damage he is going to be taking from this is going to be from the Trollhammer torpedo explosions. Now moving the Gyro Bomber back in to shoot into the backs of these spears, but I noticed that the Engine of the Gods is starting to come back, and I'm thinking, you know what, I don't want that to get a second cast, so I'm definitely going to send him over there to shoot at that. And you know, just make sure it doesn't come back, or at least, what's the opposite of persuade? Dissuade? Encourage it not to come back, I suppose, would be the correct terms there. So yes, this is literally just me shooting into this big clump. There's not that much strategy to it, to be honest with you. A couple of the Temple Guards managed to get through and attack my Iron Drakes, but it's not too much trouble. There's only a few of them, so they are getting shot by the other units in the squad there. We can see that's half a Lizard Man, which is kind of disturbing, but also very cool. And as you can see here, the entire enemy force just start to break from the army losses there, and I take the victory. It wasn't too bad. I did, of course, pick a place to defend that was fairly easy, so I think in future I'll probably pick one that's a little bit more fair. But yes, it was a delightful siege. Let's have a look at these stats. So as you can see there, the Gyro Bomber, as I said, didn't get many kills whatsoever. It only got 11 kills, but it wasn't really trying to get many kills. It was just trying to do as much damage to those Temple Guard as possible. In fact, the most valuable unit on the enemy team was the Slan Mage Priest of Life, which is very interesting there. Just a couple of spellcasts and a little bit of light melee fighting when he came through the doors. But 24 kills, that's not a whole bunch. Not trying to insult my adversary, by the way. It was a very difficult siege indeed. And I picked a good faction to counter him, because I can just rip his large units to pieces as he came up to me. There we go, my Slayers got a bunch of kills, which is very surprising since I sent them basically against the Dread Sauron and the Engine of the Gods. But I suppose once everything else was gone, they just kind of, you know, got into the thick of combat and didn't really care what they were hitting. Same for these Trollhammer torpedoes, their explosions were just going off in every direction and hitting everything, even if it wasn't a large target. But yes, I believe that went fairly well for me. It wasn't too bad. But yes, I think I just picked a good faction to counter his. It wasn't anything to do with my massive amounts of skill, because we all know I don't really have any. It was just a very good counter pick there. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this quick campaign replay. Aiming to do these, you know, every day that I'm not doing a, you know, Monday or a Friday video, because they really don't take that much time to do. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, be sure to leave a dislike. If you want to take part in these streams, then be sure to head on over to DLive. There's a link in the description. Just give the channel a follow, or you can just join the Discord, and then you can hop in from there, because I always let the Discord know when I'm live, and then you can hop in and just join and battle me and absolutely mop the floor with me. It will be a delightful time. But yes, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then be sure to subscribe. I'm doing guides, I'm doing, you know, Monday videos. I don't even know what they are. They're just kind of, I tried to make them comedic lists, but they just end up being a mess. But yes, if you enjoy anything like that, then be sure to subscribe and stick around, and that would be pretty epic. But yes, for now, guys, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I'll see you next turn.